Hey everyone, welcome to Dash Attack's Old White Road. And guess what? I'm back. I'm back from Universal and Florida. Um, it was actually a long vacation. We spent a few days in Universal, then we went down to the Gulf of America. But yeah, it's good to be back. Good back hosting the show, and we have regulars Xene, Digny, and Galaxy, and our guest today is Jace.
Hi.
Neku may be joining us at some time, and Damien, don't know about Damien.
Damien's buying some new knee pads, folks. I can only guess as to why, but it's great to see everyone. I hope you're all doing well. I'm getting into the mood of things, folks. I was celebrating Eid with my Muslim friends a few days ago, and I might as well celebrate homosexuality with all of my friends here. So it's great to see everyone. Fingers crossed we have a fantastic show, and I'm very excited, right? Do you know why it's called the Gulf of America, folks? Because the Mexicans don't cause an environmental disaster through their oil well system. The Gulf of America, it's all black because of the oil. So there you go, folks. Let's catch up with the chat before we catch up with the panel. It's great to see everyone. Great to see Galaxy, Dash, Jace, Lieutenant Spider-Boy. Who else is here? We need to get Valkyria Winter on the show sometime.
We do. It would be a riot.
You got to set it up though, Dash. Right? You gotta make.
All right.
Connection.
Maybe we need to get that. And there's another VTuber who says he wants to come on. Slice wants to come on. He's a mutual friend of Damien.
Oh, good. You see, folks, I have no idea who this person is, but since Damien likes them, I'm thinking, yeah, that's good. That's good. And I think we need to bring more. You need to bring more and more people together.
Yeah, he's and funny enough, he's not gay.
Not yet, anyway. But now that we've caught up with the chat, like the stream, share the stream, donations are always welcome. We'll catch up with the panel. So we'll start off with Dash, who had a great time in Florida, and he had a great time going across the south of the United States. Didn't happen to go into Atlanta, did you, Dash?
Atlanta, Georgia? No.
Good. That's why you're still alive. So, how have you been?
Oh, I've been good. It was also my birthday a few days ago, and had a really great live stream with that, playing some Final Fantasy X. Really good stuff. Lot of people came, and it just really just made me feel just grateful that I just feel very appreciated, and and it's all thanks to my wonderful family and my friends and my fans. It's just it feels good.
That's good to know. Happy 30th birthday.
So 34th, actually.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I know.
Age, folks, it's creeping up. Twink death is approaching. Xene, how have you been?
Yeah, doing pretty good. I completely smashed the 200 hours watch time way earlier than I expected for the Rumble Creator program. I was expecting somewhere like today. I was expecting for me today to get to that 200-hour mark, but I'm like 40 hours over.
Good. It's always good to see people succeeding, folks. Always good. I don't stream anywhere near often enough to really go into the creator program, which is one of the actual reasons why I don't go into it. So, best of luck to you. Into summer. It's going to get hot, folks. It's going to get crazy. And it's going to get gay. Galaxy, have you been?
Been all right until you said that. But
Wow.
anyway,
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
yeah. Anyway, yeah. I had a good week. Basically, had my birthday stream on Monday, and had a few people come in. Like, I mean, a lot of people came in. I had like 5 raids on my channel, and a few people sent me rants, and Dash sent me a free game on Steam. So give me a gift. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. So I've just been doing Lego Batman is actually a pretty fun game too. So if anyone wants to play that, they should probably try it sometime.
Yeah,
So
I was watching him play it. It actually looks really good, and it actually improves Batman Begins by having Talia in it from the start.
yeah, basically. And then there's also like there's some other things that I guess you could say they improved in a way where, I mean, even though there are some like they kind of like combine like the Batman, but they also combine it with like the other like movies and stuff too. So because
Mhm.
the game like starts you, it basically is like Batman Begins right at the beginning. Everything is like Batman Begins until you get back from Nanda Parbat, which is the place where the League of Shadows is, and
You can tell a franchise is going strong when its best release is a Lego game.
well, I mean, that's all because of WB.
Yeah, don't they also mix some of the Arkham style Arkham events in there?
Yeah, they're like the gameplay and everything is pretty much lifted from Arkham games, except for they're Lego-fied, but they are there, and Rocksteady apparently did help work on it, and that's why they got that stuff in there. And the whole story at the beginning is, like I said, it's like Batman Begins at first, and then it gets into like the Batman when he comes back in a way, but it's still Batman Begins as well. So it's like they try to mix both of them together, and they got like Penguin already there working with Simon, Carmine Falcone, or Falcone, however you want to say his name. They call him Falcone in the game, but it's Falcone.
It's always a different, like every iteration like says it differently.
Yeah. But they had them. They have Penguin in there working for him at first, and then later on, they start going into the Batman '89 movies, which is basically like so they can introduce Catwoman and
then the next Batman game, they'll rename it on Netflix and call it Black Man. So thank you for that, Galaxy. Jace, how have you been?
He doesn't know how over the target he is. They have actually tried to race swap Batman and make it Lucius Fox's son in recent history.
Yeah.
But yeah,
well, I mean, he's been in he's been in the comics, but
Yeah.
not as Batman. He's like his own
yeah.
character now,
But they've been trying
Isn't
to
he the
pivot that.
one who told Harley Quinn that like you could kill the Joker, but you can't kill white supremacy?
Yes. Oh boy. Anyway, yeah, I've been doing all right. Had a great show last night. We do cancel podcast Thursday nights, 11:15 p.m. Eastern, with my co-host John, and Digny's mentor has been active again on Rumble. So we had a good time, and of course, just a lot of crazy shit going on. I've had a very aggressively dramatic week due to bills, because that's basically what's going on, and it sucks with that. But I'm alive, so I guess I can't complain. I will though, because it's almost 90 degrees in Atlanta. So aside from the brick throwing black people and all that kind of other crazy stuff goes around, now it's hot. So I'm sure Dash is relieved to actually be out of the heat and back to somewhere where it's not 90 degrees.
Oh yeah,
where you have to worry about swamp ass.
It is full-blown summer down there.
Yeah.
It is full-blown summer.
Yeah,
Hey.
it's not even the heat; it's the humidity.
I'm also in the South. It's pretty.
Oh, so you're dealing with
it's
it
like
too.
90 degrees where I'm at right now as well.
Yeah, you notice not only is that screen not running because of the fact my electric bill is way too high, it's also because that thing generates so much heat in the summertime that I'm not even putting myself through that kind of pain. All right, because it will be 90 degrees in here. I'm in the hottest room in the house, also known as hell. But other than that, I guess I'm fine. I'm still alive and doing what I do.
Good. Well, hopefully you stay alive until the end of the stream. Otherwise, we'll have to go exclusively to Kick. As for me, I'm doing very well, folks. Getting ready for a newer, better, gayer month. We got a lot of interesting things to talk about, and quite frankly, folks, we're entering a period now where we've just got to hang on. Got to hang on. We got to keep on going. We got to keep on growing. We got to ride the rest of the year out. And it's great to see Furious Dan and Endless Nocturne. You know, we should get Endless Nocturne on this show sometime soon. And
yeah,
then we
he
can
is. He does have a Rumble channel.
and then we can tell Dash is like remove all of us apart from Xene and Nocturne, and then we can see them have a conversation.
You
Right.
just want to watch me have a conversation in an isolated.
Yeah,
just to
'cause I
see
think-
what
I
happens.
think-
I know.
I think Xene and Nocturne are clones of the same person.
Really.
Yeah. Yeah, Xene variant from the Xene verse, folks. Huh?
Yeah, you
That'd be
have been
cool.
watching too much
Really?
Rick and Morty, Digny. Like, yeah,
Hey.
No,
apparently
no,
he's been
no.
watching Rick and Morty.
He's been watching too much Invincible.
Right? We all have variants. We have variants that are a success, we have variants that are failures, and we have variants who all have black wives. So, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on to our first topic. And it's a very, very interesting topic because apparently a woman with a funny name is condemning fatherhood. And that woman is Millie Alcock. Now, Millie Alcock, the next Supergirl, Millie Alcock, I wonder where her mother got that name, insults Christian dads as Supergirl interest drops despite the actress's name being Millie Alcock. So Dash recommended this topic. I can't imagine why, considering the lady's name is Millie Alcock. But apparently she's done a very bad thing, Dash.
Yeah,
And that's
it
not
just-
change her name.
I think it's Alcock though, not Alcock.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
God.
this actress was great on House of the Dragon as the young Rhaenyra. Like, she was
I just wanna say
actually like
something.
phenomenal. Actually, like, she was only in a couple of episodes, but she was
Look.
great. And this is her new role now that she's a little bit older.
Yeah,
And
that Park Place, you do better, right? This is the kind of shit John Delaroz would do. Get an actual picture of Millie Alcock, for fuck's sake, man.
okay, I'll
That's
just type
not her.
Christian dads.
That
And-
is a
That's a
that, yeah,
different one.
that picture downplays her massive freaking overbite.
There we go. That's better.
Is this better?
And see, look, I say his name and he fucking pops up on X. You see? Oh, that's funny. But yeah, courtesy of the New York Post, also known as toilet paper for Republicans in New York, quote, dismal Supergirl tracking data, which doesn't sound dystopian at all, sparks concern after lead actress Millie Alcock mocks Christian dad critics. And oh, look, a black intellectual. You know, there's nothing worse than a black intellectual, ladies and gentlemen. People who think an IQ of 90 is a sign of intelligence. But I will point out, folks, that DC films have not really had the best track record. They're not consistent. And the reason they're not consistent is because we're dealing with franchises that are older than Joe Biden, right? They're past their best, quite frankly. You look at Superman, you look at Batman, these are franchises that are nearly 100 years old.
Matt Damon. Sorry.
Quite frankly, we're looking at characters that have histories longer than any of us have been alive. And their stories have already been told. And they're simply being rehashed and regurgitated for a new
There's
audience.
actually a lot of stories that have not been told in like a visual medium that are ripe for telling. James Gunn just decided to tell this worst kind of where like we instead of having an aspirational hero, we have Supergirl as a drunk train wreck. But my old friends at Midnight's Edge, they think it's great. They love it. And if you don't like it, you're just a evil Snyder bro who just wants Snyder and darkness and gun.
Dash. I'm telling you this right now. The only reason Millie Alcock has this role is because she's James Gunn's type. Okay?
Oh,
Ugly.
Oh no.
Looks underage. A good 5 out of 10 fuck. Okay?
The thing is, that's most likely very true when it comes to Hollywood.
Oh yeah, it's James Gunn especially. Like, he deleted all those tweets, but the internet remembers.
Okay.
Oh yeah, everything's forever on the internet.
Look, as soon as they cast this woman, and I want to use the term woman because she is a woman, Millie Alcock, you are a woman. I know that that's difficult for you to grasp that you are a woman. By the way, she identifies as gender non-binary. That's why I'm putting this through.
Wait, so both Rhaenyra actresses identify as non-binary?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What the fuck, dude?
Yes. As soon as I knew that like any sort of this not being politicized was game over. She was not going to not politicize this role. But more, all politics aside, and this is something that my co-host John has said on Cancel's podcast a few times before, James Gunn only knows how to make one movie, and it is Guardians of the Galaxy, because every single movie that he puts out looks like Guardians of the Galaxy with a different skin on, including this one.
Yeah, it's very
even
forced,
Superman did it.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, they basically had to mold the character and even Superman into a reject in order to fit that archetype. Like, I swear, as someone who likes the Guardians movies, like, I'm sick of James Gunn.
You know what James Gunn did, folks? He saw Adam Warlock in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and decided, I want that to be the next Supergirl. Okay.
The actor looks exactly the same.
It does look like Will Poulter in drag.
Millie Alcock and Adam Warlock should do a face-off remake together and then end the movie by having sex. And then you can flash forward 9 months and they have a baby and it looks like the perfect merge of the two of them. Right?
Okay.
Do you know why? Because it'd be funny, because they look just like each other. And then we can start a new Game of Thrones show, because that's what Targaryens do. They inbreed like a motherfucker.
I think the most arrogant thing about this is that they think that it's going to make money. If Superman didn't make enough money, this is not going to make money. This is like making a Robin movie and thinking it's going to make more money than a Batman movie. That's not going to happen.
Exactly. I mean, DC has had its time. It's been mired and plagued by inconsistencies for longer than I have been alive, for as long as Jace has been alive. DC hasn't had a train on the tracks since the late 1970s.
Well,
that's not
true. I mean, some of the the 80s and stuff with the Batman films.
You know what's tone deaf about this is how many Christian dads have daughters, right? So you're alienating Christian dads, but the target audience should be daughters should want to look up to Supergirl as an inspiration. But instead,
not this Supergirl. This version,
not this one. She's a drunk wino, which is the problem. She's every Kamala Harris voter after Kamala Harris lost.
Yeah, remember the movie Hancock and how we had a drunk Superman that actually tried to get better instead, and now we have a drunk Supergirl that's and we're supposed to see her as an idol.
And she's not going to get better. She's the flip side of that, Dash. It's I am going to become worse.
Guys, I've got the visual representation of the DC film universe. Okay, Dash, you just bring it up.
chicken.
We'd like to take a moment to announce that.
Well, yeah.
See, look, even under Zack Snyder or whatever his bloody name is, right?
Yeah.
Even if DC films do well for a period of time, they ultimately crash and burn. The Batman films that Galaxy was referring to, right? You had four of them. You had two good ones, a mid one, and one so wank it nearly destroyed George Clooney's career. Okay.
Well, the problem was that WB wanted to keep making the movies, and Tim Burton was done after the second movie, and that's why they just then they just and they didn't care about trying to make a good movie. They just wanted to make a Batman movie.
I want more movies. I want Supergirl 6.
You know what the worst part of all of it is?
Infinite money machine.
And that's the same. That was the same problem with Superman, by the way. The original
you know what the
Superman
worst
film.
problem is? I'd love to think that this is going to get better if Paramount acquires Warner, but it's not, because the Ellisons. This is Larry Ellison's daughter, guys. Remember Larry Ellison's daughter, the one who look at this
mixtape,
and you know where she's aligned. Mixtape.
Yep, that's what I said. Mixtape, yep.
So
that
we ain't getting out of this.
Carlson. That is Tucker Carlson in a wig. Okay.
Oh my God!
That is not a real. That is Jeremy Clarkson de-aged in a wig. That is not a man. I mean, woman. See, look, gay Digney can't tell the difference.
It's so funny. Like the pro-Paramount, the pro-Trump Paramount conspiracies are fucking hysterical. They think Larry Ellison is this big MAGA guy when literally there's evidence of him being a Biden supporter.
Yep.
Hey, look,
no,
at least he didn't.
Master Cheeks. I mean, that was Paramount's watch that did that.
Yep.
At
least he didn't flee to Argentina, though. And another funny thing about Dash, folks, is that he cannot say mount when you put para in front of it.
Paramount.
That's not what you said.
He keeps saying Mont, doesn't he? Like Monty Galaxy.
You said Paramount. Yeah.
Yeah.
Paramount.
Yeah,
whatever. Paramount.
We got to keep Dash's feet to the fire, because that's the only way we can get him to fuck ladies. Now, in all seriousness, folks, speaking of fucking ladies, who named you? Where does the Alcock family come from? I'm kind of afraid to answer that question.
What really pisses me off is that, she was very good in, one of the best parts of House of the Dragon, in my opinion, was, her and, Matt Smith, that creepy brothel scene.
Yep.
And it's just that, she could have been, had a really good career, but no, she decided to open her mouth like Pedro Pascal. Except Pedro didn't start opening his mouth till much later in his acting career. And then everyone started to hate him. And now she's doing it just before she could even get big.
I thought that was a black sun tattoo then. It's like, what is that?
It's some sort of tattoo.
Here's the funny thing too. If even if you star in a bad movie, if you're just not an asshole about it, you can salvage your career. People forget Matt Smith is a great example. He was the villain in Morbius very recently.
Yeah, Matt Smith has been in a lot of bad movies. Terminator.
But in 5 years' time, that scene in Morbius that he was in will be Bully Maguire into a meme, because he had a cringe dance scene that was on par with the Spider-Man 3 dance scene. Yeah. And it ended up being the one funny thing about Morbius. And the thing about Matt Smith is you watch this shitty movie and you see Matt Smith and you're like, you know what? He knows it's shitty, but he's gonna own it. And that's the difference between someone who makes the best out of a bad situation and someone who in a bad situation is gonna pass the buck off to everyone else. Because, just like, this is how Millie Alcock, no matter how non-binary she is, she's a woman. She's not gonna take any accountability for the fact this movie sucks. She wants to pass that buck off onto all of us.
Terminator Genesis was a career-ending movie in so many ways. Yet Matt Smith, who played the main antagonist in that,
he was Skynet.
Film, as Skynet, he played Skynet. He, in every scene he was in, he shined, right? And he did so in an environment where it was all either green or blue screen for him. He wasn't actually engaging with anyone. He wasn't actually there. So it's a testament to his abilities and the fact that he hasn't aged in 16 years, which is very
well, he is a
concerning.
Time
He
Lord.
he might be a
Time Lord.
vampire or a Time Lord.
I'm
Yeah,
Lord.
he's really a Time Lord. Yeah.
I'm very surprised that Matt Smith has been in so many career-ending films and yet has done so well in them that his career as an actor hasn't suffered.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
He's still getting
and,
work because
I did say she was like, no, I'll take it back. Matt Smith is the best part of House of the Dragon, and everyone knows it.
yeah, he is. He's definitely the best part.
She's getting a lot of comparison right now to Rachel Ziegler. That is how far she's fallen, and that is not somewhere as an actress you want to be.
Oh,
Rachel
hell
Ziegler's
no.
career is nuclear right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say because well, curious is in the chat. Matt Smith can act.
Yep,
That
he
means
has got years of experience.
Yeah,
she's
even if-
young. She's got a fresh start. She had a good start with the few eepisodes of
Like,
House
let me
of the
speak,
Dragon.
Dash.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I was trying to say that because Matt Smith can act because he's been in all these other movies and stuff like that, and everyone knows that they're not really. The movies aren't that good, but he is still the best parts in those movies because he is putting all his work into doing it, and actually you can see that he's the best actor in those films. So it's just like you were saying, this girl, Millie Alcock or whatever you want to call her, she
It's a funny name though, Galaxy. You got to admit, what kind of family would call themselves like, what should we call our last name? I know, Alcock. It's like, for God's sake.
The Alcock.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
don't know. They could have just decided to, or she decided, hey, let's just have my last name like that.
But yeah,
Well,
I get what you're saying.
Look. In Digny's part of the world, the last name is usually what your job is. So we can only speculate on how you get the last name Alcock.
Yeah, it's a family of prostitutes. Quite frankly, one of the main reasons I like Matt Smith as an actor and as a person is that he always sticks to the basics, builds a solid foundation, and then as he's gone through his career, he's gone on to bigger and better things. He's one of the youngest Doctor Who's, for goodness sake, and he could have been the Doctor for 20 years and still look the same, which would have been scary for people. This lady, she's crashing and burning her career for what? For what?
Yeah. She had such a solid foundation coming out of House of the Dragon, and to burn it like this, it's just wasted potential. And yeah, I do think she is like heading towards Ziegler territory, but the only difference is Ziegler can't even act.
Look, stick this bitch in Euphoria, have that trans individual beat her, and then it'll help revive her career, okay?
Yeah, Euphoria sounds more her alley.
Here's the problem with these celebrities. Why can't you just shut up? Like, you know why celebrities were larger than life when people as old as I am were growing up? Is because they didn't have social media. They didn't have this instant access to the media, zeitgeist. They just shut the fuck up and did their movie. Now they have to tell you everything about their lives. And I really don't care. Just shut up and act. Either make a good movie, make a stinking bomb, whatever. Let the movie be the judge of character. I don't want to hear what your political position is. I don't want to hear that you don't like Christians or you don't like X religion or Y religion or people who voted one way or the other. Just shut up and make the movie.
Yeah, for me, it's the contempt for the audience that pisses me off. They're like, the contempt. Like, we want to go and watch your movie. Now, I wasn't going to watch it because, I don't like the direction Gunn is putting it in. But, I had nothing against her in the part. She's just playing a part. And then she opens her mouth, disrespects a large portion of the American populace, that means that an entire religion and shames fathers. It's like, oh my God, you just became the most unlikable person with just one fucking interview, bitch.
Yeah, why don't you just say, hey, you know, I want my role in the movie to speak for itself, and I hope that you'll enjoy my movie. It's kind of like you know how Japanese game developers do? They go, please look forward to it, and they leave it at that, right? Like, leave it at that. Say, you know, you didn't win anybody to watch your movie by saying this. You've made sure people are not going to watch your movie, which tells me you're looking for an excuse and someone to blame when the movie inevitably bombs. You know, that's what this is. She knows the movie isn't going to do well, and rather than try to salvage it, she's trying to alienate more people. So she's like, well, it's their fault because they didn't watch my movie.
You know,
it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Matt Webb did a lot better with owning their flop of a movie. They even joked about it.
The difference too is that with the previous movie, Superman, the actors and stuff didn't actually talk down to the didn't like talk about like treating the audience like shit or anything like that. They just like, you know, they talked about the roles that they were in basically, but they didn't say anything bad about anyone that was watching the movie. But the only person that actually I think that kind of ruined that movie was James Gunn himself, because he was talking way too fucking much. So it's just like he talked way too much. He lied about a lot of shit about part of the movie and everything. And he kept bringing, you know, just like you know, changing a lot of like what he said before, and then he would change it again. You know, just kept doing it. So look,
guys. At least none of these actors are actual superheroes that will laser you if you say boo to a goose or run a goose over, because, you know, John and my mentor talked about this, guys. An Arkansas state trooper tried to move geese off the road and ran over and murdered baby geese. He ran over a baby goose going forward, and then when he backed up, he ran over the second goose. So, yeah, at least they're not doing that to us yet. But
I mean,
did the remaining geese go crazy though? That's what I was like.
No, they were just crossing the highway. But go on, Xene.
Yeah, this is just, I'll see, it's the normal cultural leftism. They always have to blame the audience or blame the people who buy their game, even though
just raise the prices to ensure no one can buy, which is a great segue to our second topic. So there we go, folks. 33 minutes dead, folks. Like the stream, share the stream. Donations are always welcome. Prices are going up everywhere, folks. Prices are going up. $100 a day for electric, $100 a day for gas, $1,000 for a Steam Deck. You get fucked in the ass. There we go, folks. Wouldn't you like it? Wouldn't you like a network musical show where we sing about topics? How about that?
No,
Dash?
I would not. I would not like
Why
that
not?
at all.
Why aren't you a fan of musical?
That sounds gimmicky and lame.
Raise him up, raise him up, raise him high, Homelander. I love the O Father character. I don't like the fact that he was killed by a ball gag, but I love that character. Courtesy
They actually
of Wario.
made hymns for Homelander in The Boys.
Yes,
season
they
5.
did. A god who's red, white,
that's
and
actually
blue.
fucking funny. That is actually fucking funny.
Yep. A god who's red, white, and blue, just like me and you. Courtesy of Wario64, folks. Quote, Valve has raised Steam Deck prices in the US, and then I will add my section here, in order to encourage you all to buy a Steam machine for probably the same price.
More. It'll be more.
But they're out of stock. What's the point, guys, in raising prices for things that are out of stock? They don't have them.
Do we even know the price yet for the Steam machine? I mean,
we do not know the price.
I think that's going to be the price, guys. I think the price of a Steam machine is going to be about $1,000, because it's the only explanation for Steam Deck raising their prices, and they're still out of stock. So why raise prices if they're out of stock? They're out of stock. There's none available. So I think they've raised the prices as a signal to audiences. This is how much a Steam machine is going to cost, right? Anywhere between $800 to $1,000.
Guess
I mean,
we'll
there
find out when
could
they
be
finally say
inverse
it.
of keeping
Mhm.
increasing the Steam Deck, so to actually have the other one being maybe $100 cheaper, 200 to get for to have people to buy the Steam.
Well, Valve isn't Microsoft, Zine. They can't sell hardware at a loss. They just can't. They're not that kind of company. So I think $1,000 for a basic or for a base Steam machine is what they're going to do. Look, I was going to be like $800, okay, because that would have been entry level. That would have welcomed new generations of PC potential PC game players. And look, if it can be an all in one in terms of it being a Steam machine and a PC, then that would have been fantastic. But there's a reason they've done this. It doesn't make any sense for them to do this while it's out of stock. So it's a signal. It's clearly a signal. And I'm sorry to say about, the people I've worked with in the comments on this post in the past, you guys are not stupid to not see through that, right? I'm not talking about this panel because this panel is stupid. It's
You're
working with
talking
me.
about nobody and Cassie?
Yeah, I'm talking about Mr. Nobody. I'm talking about Decembro. I'm talking about all these people, right? Can't you not see what Valve is trying to do here? What is the point in raising prices on products that are out of stock? Doesn't make any sense. So it's clearly a signal. This has been done so that when the Steam machine releases, what are you going to do? Are you going to spend nearly $1,000 on a Steam Deck OLED, or are you going to spend $1,000 on a base Steam machine? Right? Come on, guys, you're not that stupid. You're smarter than me. You still have YouTube channels, okay? You guys see it. But it's all about hopping on a bandwagon, right? And then you make a few videos about it as a topic of the day. You rage against the Valve machine because it's not often Valve make mistakes, so it's going to do really well algorithmically. Sorry to sound cynical, folks, but I've been doing this for a long time, and I know how things work for creators. And then when the Steam machine releases and its price point is $1,000, that'll be a topic of the day, and people will react about it. Some people will celebrate. Some people will condemn it for being too expensive, and other people will condemn it for not being expensive enough. That's the game we play as creators, as the new media that exists.
Though the way I see it, though, is that it just shows that, all these game companies raising their prices and shit. It's kind of like gives legitimacy to that, because even Valve has to upcharge, then shit's getting expensive, and they're literally being forced to do that. So I don't know. I've been very skeptical about a lot of these price increases, but it is looking like my skepticism.
Sorry, Dash, but there's only one company in the console or even PC market that can sell hardware at a loss, and that's Microsoft. None of the others can, which is why Microsoft through Xbox is in a very unique position where they can lower prices, take Nintendo's place as being the affordable console company, and win back a lot of support, because Sony can't release hardware at a loss. Nintendo can't. Valve can't.
What I'm
Microsoft
wondering is
can.
what happens here. You see, the ROG Ally is still selling for about $700, $600, and this is kind of the Steam Deck competitor. So it's going to be one to watch. But then you see versions that are almost $900.
Yeah,
you see
especially the
Xbox
versions. Especially the virgins. Yeah, we like some virgins. Let's get to the island, guys. Especially the versions that collaborate with Xbox, right? The Republic
Exactly.
of Gamers, in
Mhm.
collaboration with ASUS, they
Mhm.
usually make and release hardware at a premium. So it's a
Yes.
premium product. So they overinflate the damn prices. They don't
Lenovo
reduce them.
Legion is another one. 726 you see here. So I wonder what's going to happen with a lot of these Steam Deck competitors. Are they also going to now raise their prices, or are they going to try to stay at the level they're currently selling for as long as possible?
I personally, it's all about sales at the end of the
Mhm.
day. My mentor, along with John, made this perfectly clear when we talked about GTA 6, right? GTA 5 released as a $60 game back in 2013.
Mhm.
GTA 6, to really try and buy popular support, Rockstar should probably do the same thing for GTA 6. GTA 6, $60.
Look at this.
Simple.
They've got an almost $2,000 rendition of the
Yep.
ROGL. I mean,
Yeah,
some of these are
Wow.
insane.
a premium product, folks. It's a premium product,
Mm-hmm.
which is what the Republic of Gamers are known for, and ASUS has leaned in on that ever since they bought the Republic of Gamers out. I don't
This is
call
about
it
as
wrong.
much as my laptop is cost a couple years ago.
I am so glad I am set when it comes to hardware. Just have my PS5, have my Switch 2, have my PC. I'm good.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I couldn't upgrade this year. I couldn't, because
Uh,
the bare minimum I'd need to put in to upgrade from the system I have today would be about £1,000, which is about $1,200, $1,300, and I ain't paying that. I'll just stick with this.
Yeah, I mean those prices are like
Mhm.
beyond 1,000. I'm like, my computer is almost like 10 years old or older, and it has better specs than those. All the what we've seen. I'm like, that's computer costs 1,000.
Yeah, Patrick makes a great point about shit software and stuff. If like all these AAA games and these powerful machines, like if they were releasing good games and not like cuck sims and like all this press X to win bullshit,
And to my knowledge, guys, the only Xbox that was ever sold for a profit in terms of hardware was the Xbox One, and that didn't really work out, did it?
Remember when people were complaining that the PS5 was $500, PS3 was $500?
Yeah.
Look. I look at it this way with consoles. Back when I actually had money, I did not pay full price for consoles that have been around a while. The consoles eventually went down. It was very typical that, with consoles, I picked the one console that I thought was sort of worth spending, the time and money on, right? And then I'd get the other consoles as they got priced down, sometimes to the $129 mark, sometimes the $99 mark. Those days are done. This is the first console generation where the price of consoles shot up after a few years instead of, it went down.
Yeah.
And for me, that's a bad look, because nobody cares about what the reason is. Normies out here in the world don't give a shit about, production costs and blah, blah, blah. They're just looking at it like, shit, I'm not buying it. I got to put gas in my car. Gas is $4. Grocery prices are up. A pack of hot dogs is $6. Hot dogs, poor people food. No one's looking at PS5 and be like, yo, I'm gonna throw myself into fucking debt to have one of these things. Same with and by the way, Steam does not have the normie power. It appeals to us because we're in the know. Steam does not have that normie power quite yet. The average brick thrower in Atlanta does not know what Steam is. Okay,
and
so it does not have that power.
And thank
That's probably a good thing.
Right? Yeah. Look, Steam needs the Steam machine to be a success, because that can be the normie PC, right? So the reason I think they've jacked up their prices for the Steam Deck, Steam Deck's a good system, but it's not going to penetrate the zeitgeist, right? It's not cool to carry around a portable computer, right, while you're going about your business. A Steam machine can be a proper merger of a console and a desktop PC. If you can use it as a PC through Steam OS and use it as a games console. They're penetrating 2 markets, and
Here's
they
the
are
thing.
really fucking everyone else over.
You
as a
carry
result.
that around, you're going to get robbed.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the bottom line with that. You know, unless you're in a nice neighborhood where there are no minorities. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're in one of these gated communities, you're all right. You come out here in the middle of downtown Atlanta, they're gonna mug the crap out of you and steal your shit. All right.
You know, something tells me Dash lives in a gated community, Jace, because he's too nice to not live in a gated community.
Wait a minute. The gated community.
The gated community.
No,
Dash
just
isn't
suburbs.
gay.
Just the suburb. Oh, I see. You were making a gay joke.
Yeah.
All right. Carry
Dash
on.
isn't gay, folks. He's gated. Okay? All right? And this is courtesy of Tim Sweeney, who wants Steam to die. Quote, everyone's being too harsh here. There has been a significant rise in the cost of components that Steam customer spending ultimately funds. And economic trends have created severe disruptions in the component part supply chain for mega yachts. And that
He's
is
just trying
why
to take shots at Steam and quoting Pirate Nation of all people.
Yeah, well, look, it makes sense for the guy who made Fortnite popular to quote a man who wears women's clothing. But I want to make clear, guys, imagine if Epic made a games console. Imagine if Epic made
Oh, it won't even
an
work
Epic
like their
machine.
Steam
Oh
to the
my
store.
god! If it's as shit as their storefront, then God help
Right.
us.
and you gotta input a card, right? You buy the Epic machine and you get an Unreal Engine 6 card that you gotta put in there. And without those cards, folks, got an Unreal Engine 3, 4, 5, and 6 card. And if you don't put one of those cards in the slots, the Epic machine doesn't work. It only plays Unreal Engine games, which is great for Expedition 33, but it's not really great for... You want to play Fortnite, Rocket League, and Expedition 33. And State of Decay 2, because that was on the Unreal
How about
Engine
Unreal
as well.
Tournament? Can it play Unreal Tournament?
I don't know. Was that
I'm
on
gonna
the
be
Unreal
honest.
Engine?
Yeah, it
Well,
is. But
yeah,
the thing is,
the Unreal Engine is literally named after that franchise, Unreal Tournament.
because they were the tests. The Unreal Tournament was the testing grounds for the engine itself.
I'm gonna be honest. Like all this shit just makes me think that as gamers, we need to take a look at our game collections, take a look at our backlogs. There's a lot of games. Look, there's people starving in Africa. That has nothing to do with your backlog. I just felt like saying it. It's a great analogy for the fact that you have shit on your plate that you can play right now. I think instead of even entertaining this madness, whether it's Steam, whether it's Sony, whether it's Microsoft, whether it's Nintendo, you know, if you got a PC and you're gaming on your PC, play your backlogs, let this industry collapse on itself. Because at this point, that's the only way you're going to get course correction from it.
Yeah, true.
I
Absolutely.
want to make a game. I want to make a game, folks, and hopefully it exists. But I want to make a game called Elephant Simulator. Okay? Now, Elephant Simulator, and, you know, there is actually an Elephant Simulator, but it's an online game, right? I want to create a physical game called Elephant Simulator where you play as an elephant, you search for food, you try to survive, and then the big boss at the end of the round is a village that keeps harassing you. All right? We need games that are entertaining to play. We don't need to jack up prices. We don't need to jack off executives with their big bonuses. All right? We don't need guys who like dressing up in women's clothing to complain about Valve raising their prices. Valve have never had a good track record in hardware. Never. The first Steam controller was so wank that people laughed at it. They laughed at Steam. One of the reasons why Valve is not taken seriously, or at least wasn't taken seriously for years, was because every time they tried to step outside of being a storefront, it was a failure. Now, the Steam Deck proved that wrong. Now, the Steam machine has to be like lightning striking twice and fast too. So they've got to release it at $1,000 maximum. Any more than that, and it's gonna be a flop, like most Valve hardware. So there you go. Cartoons, speak. I command you.
Yeah,
Speak.
I'm just.
There's
Anyone have
Digny's game, by the way.
Oh, where is it? Where's
No,
Elephant
There's a
Simulator?
screenshot of what
Oh yeah,
Digny
I
has
don't know.
announced.
I don't know. I know you sent something. I don't know what it is or if it's safe to play.
Oh, it's
I was just-
safe. It's just a video. Not
All
a
right.
video. It's an image, still shot.
Okay,
By the
still
way,
shut.
Do you think that the chancla that the man in the camo shirt is holding is really going to deter a freaking elephant?
No, I mean, he's
Guys.
going to get trampled. That's what's going to happen.
Guys, Ryan. It's like throwing a rock at a tank.
Exactly.
Okay.
I found the perfect game for indie, courtesy of Game Freak, the developers of Pokemon.
Oh,
I'll
Tembo?
show you. Tembo the Badass Elephant. Yes, an old Game Freak game from 2005, co-published by Sega.
Interesting.
Yep, you play as a Rambo-like elephant, and you just go through all the different levels and shit. It's a
And mow
2D
things down.
Yep, made by fucking Game Freak.
Oh, wait, I'm having a look at the terms and conditions. This game is banned from India. Why? Why is this game banned from India?
Oh my god.
Because it sets a bad precedent.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I guess
No,
because the elephant's destroying everything.
Yes.
I think yeah, Patrick was saying in the chat. This is when Game Freak was doing the Flash game things. That's like, well, it's also Game Freak actually making original content instead of like
Yeah.
instead
It's
of just like always copying or just like they gotten too lazy in the Pokemon formula. So
Yep.
making these type of games is actually good. So
Yeah, it's funny that they did better here than their Pokemon.
mhm.
Platformer where you play as an elephant, which happens to be a badass, and it's coming from a Japanese person who's never had to experience elephants as a problem, which is why this game
But they
is
have
banned
had
in
to
India.
experience Indian migration as a problem.
Oh no! Oh no,
You see,
folks!
this is what I was worried about. I knew you
What?
guys were going to get into a tangent about Indians.
I have
Friendly.
Dash, me, my mentor, and I, which is to say John, because I forgot to mention him, saw an Indo-European. I thought they were extinct. A wheat. We saw a wheat, Dash, a beautiful white Indian from India who sounded Indian. They are like unicorns. It is so rare to see a wheat.
I had no idea there was such a thing as a white Indian.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They from Alexander the Great's time. I thought they had all been killed, but she's a beauty, man. We love India. If every Indian was like this Indo-European, I would be opening the borders and welcoming these people. Yes, they would all speak funny, but I would welcome them all. Okay,
She was wearing clown makeup, wasn't she?
no, I would
Not yet.
I would add the clown makeup
Oh,
with my tongue. So on that note, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen,
yeah.
speaking of things that no, Galaxy, it's a wheat, so she's clean. Right?
No,
How
I still wouldn't do tongue with
you
makeup
went
on it.
so I'm calling you gay now, Galaxy.
Well, I'm talking
Now,
about doing
I-
it with the tongue with the makeup. I mean,
I-
God, this is
I like elephants just like I like the return of the old guard for Dragon Quest XII. Okay, folks? Which is a great segue to our third topic, which I'll write for 54 minutes and 40 seconds. Like the stream, share the stream, donations are always welcome. Come on, guys, let's fund Dash Attack's next trip, right? Let's get Dash to Vegas so he can have a taste of the Sin City, and the Sin City
Oh,
can have a taste of Dash.
His-
So courtesy
oh
of
man,
Daz's future yacht.
Yes. Courtesy of funny Japanese name that I cannot pronounce, quote, translated from Japanese, isn't the protagonist of Disqualification 12, because that's what I think when I see DQ, just insanely good looking. I agree. That green looking motherfucker is good looking.
I especially like the non-human characters, and their Dragon Quest normally just doesn't have like mostly just human-looking characters. But yeah, so I need some backstory on this game, and it's one of the reasons why I requested Jace be on the panel today is because Square Enix correctly. This is, I know like you like to do like the anti-Square Enix thing, but I honestly think this was actually a very good move on their part, considering the direction they wanted to take this game originally. So they're restarting development. It's no longer going to be a mature Dragon Quest game, which is like dark and gritty and like whatever.
Dragon Quest is not dark and gritty. It should be.
You should not with the formula. Don't mess with the formula.
Yeah.
There's a few times when like Dragon Quest VII was dark, very dark.
Yeah. Story-wise,
dark, but I don't want them to turn into like Dark Souls or FF16.
Fan art from Japan. Holy shit! Here we go, Genki. Courtesy of Genki. We got the reveal trailer.
Might want to have to lower it or
I would mute it entirely actually because
you don't want to get a hit for since we're on YouTube. You don't want to get a hit for the overture.
No, folks, we'll get hit. I love Chrono Trigger more than Dragon Quest 12. No one likes Enix. We all like Square. There we go.
Yeah, I knew you'd go, but no, this was a good thing they did, and apparently these are original Toriyama designs he made for the original version of the game.
Yes, there was a lot of work put into this game before Toriyama's untimely passing. Look, I can't believe it's not Robo.
Speaking of guy, so a lot of interesting theories about this lizard guy. A lot of people think this guy's actually the protagonist in the dream.
I do. I think
I do too, because look at the hair, look at the armor, look at the sword.
The sword's exactly the same.
That's exactly what I said too. Everything there that he's wearing. And also his hair is exactly like it is. Like for
his belt has the same dragon symbol that the human version does. So the speculation is that because it's a game, about dreams, this is whenever he enters the dream world, he will turn into this draconian form. So you'll be between two worlds.
And Dragon Quest 12, folks, will be a solid foundation for the Chrono Trigger remake, right, guys?
That's your Chrono Trigger fix. Another Eidos just is getting a console version, which is made by the creator of Chrono Trigger.
Another
It even has a talking frog knight in it, who's named Glenn, who was the best friend of Frog.
It's not intended to be the same character.
It's not intended to be. It's just an homage that they could legally do.
Because
they're doing.
Because they're
doing another Eden, the same thing they did with Octopath Traveler COTC to 0, is they're making an offline version that basically retells that story so that people who sort of turn up their nose to mobile gacha don't have to, embrace the mobile gacha style of game.
Well, I think it's also
because are a big commitment. You really have to stick one from the beginning and just really keep along. Otherwise, it's such a total grind and a money sink. I've been playing the new Dissidia, and I find the combat fun, and I'm hoping it cuts more improvements. I know a lot of people don't really like it, especially with how money hungry the game is. But that's typical Japanese mobile game shit for you.
I'm not a fan of what I call Gap Kids Final Fantasy, but I'm also still holding a very heavy grudge against them for closing down the previous Dissidia game that was on mobile.
Yeah, a lot of people were pissed about that.
Yeah, and not releasing at least some sort of offline iteration. I think that
all these mobile games deserve offline iterations. Stop killing games. That is what the movement is about.
Yeah, and speaking of, there was a Dragon Quest game, Dragon Quest Tac, that was very good. Also killed off by Square Enix's mobile department. And the other problem that I have is Dissidia NT was hot crap.
Dissidia NT was not that good. Not a big fan of the combat.
Well, just give me Duodecim and add the other Final Fantasy characters from the ones that have happened, 14, 15, 16. That's all I had to do.
I'm gonna fill you guys. I'm gonna fill you guys in on a secret. Then we'll go into Galaxy's perspective. It's like the reason Dash kept that lizard person up for so long was because he was searching for artwork of this lizard person. Okay.
Oh, there's already Rule 34 of at least a woman.
It sounds like something I'd do, but maybe not while I'm hosting a show.
Galaxy.
Well, for one, I was gonna say there was another Dragon Quest mobile game that came out that actually was pretty good too. That came out around the same time as Stacked, I think. But it kind of like pretty much like I think it actually shut down before Attack though. But it was I can't remember what it was. It's something to do with the slimes, I think.
Oh yeah, I think I did hear something about that.
12.
Yeah, but the this game I so far I like it, except I kind of like had some reservations on the artwork and stuff for the main character, but I guess it makes sense in terms of like his eyes and stuff, how it looks because of the
I think he's suffering from insomnia.
Yeah, I was gonna say because of that's probably the reason why. But if that is actually how his eyes are supposed to be in the original version of the game before this, then what the hell was the other? What was the point of that in Flames of Fate?
We will never know, and it probably was bad that they had to like change direction.
Yeah.
Here's my theory about it, guys. Is that when development started on Dragon Quest 12, we were in the thick of the cultural war. We were knee deep in Waklamat in Final Fantasy 14. All right, we were dealing with Harvestella getting rid of pronouns. We're dealing with Dragon Quest 3 remake getting rid of a pronoun. Gender essentially, replacing it with the type A, type B shit. I think that the original version of whatever this was plagued by these people. And you can see in the interviews back then, Yuji Horii was not a happy camper about any of it, right? But when I see him in the interview, when he talked about this reveal earlier this week, he seemed to be in good spirits. He was excited. He had a lot of energy. He was very animated. I think what happened is because of the restructuring at Square Enix, they've pivoted away from a lot of this woke DEI inundated garbage. And so they've allowed him to do something that I think he's been rallying for, which is, I do not want this game, which may be the last Dragon Quest game I work on because I'm old and my buddies are dead. Akira Toriyama's passed away. Koichi Sugiyama has passed away. I do not want the last Dragon Quest that I get to work on to be slop. Let me fix it.
Yeah.
And that's what I think we got.
How much do you think, because of recent trends and also that infamous leaked the interview that they tried to bury, of him and Toriyama's publishing partner bashing DEI and just saying what nonsense all this shit is. It's like an absolute god, an evil disguised as good. Favorite quote from that entire thing.
Exactly.
There's also I was thinking when you were talking about what that I wonder if it's because in the original Dragon Quest 12 of this the Flames of Fate, if they actually were making the main character be like a non-binary character or something, and that's why the eyes look like that and stuff. And then they changed it, but obviously now they're still using the same.
People were worried about the pronouns, but I did look. This guy is definitively male. He is referred to as a male, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I know that now, but I'm talking about in the original game, if it might have been using the model for that to say he's non-binary, and now
possibly he probably had a half-shaved haircut. But when people worry about the look of the hero, I just want to iterate: this is what the Dragon Quest VII hero looks like. So, look, I don't want to hear any bullshit. I looked at this guy and I'm like, why is he dressed like he's wearing pajamas when I first looked at him?
Link.
Yeah.
You know that hat, folks? That's not a hat, folks. That was some guy's pants, right? And this guy stole a guy's pants, right? And just decided to wear it on his head.
Kiefer looks like he's going to sing to you for Berries and Cream Starburst. It is not like we've had some designs in Dragon Quest before that were a little like, I don't really know about this. But it's not, this ended up being one of the biggest hits in the series. So I think that people are getting mad. I saw people getting mad about the girl having short hair, and that was another really, I think, dumb thing to get mad about.
Oh yeah, especially since he's a dude. Dudes are allowed to have short hair.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm talking about the girl. The girl who has short hair. The girl has a pixie cut.
Oh no, that's typical tomboy like shit.
Did you just confuse a boy for a girl, Dash? It's not helpful.
I thought he was talking about the other character. But yeah, he's talking about the female one, like that robot girl that looks like
no, it's not a robot girl. It's just a
she just hangs out with the robot. That seems to be her sidekick or her buddy.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
We have to point out though that the first ever Square Enix game was Chrono Trigger, and I want to point this out right here, right now. When Square Enix merged, yes, but you have to consider, Galaxy, that the collaborations to make Chrono Trigger possible came from Square and it came from Enix. It took the kind of coalition that served.
Wait, did they work together on that game?
Are you saying that because of Akira Toriyama doing the artwork? Because it's not true.
Well, you say it's not true. It was a collaborative endeavor, which
that doesn't mean. But Toriyama's not an Enix employee. He's
freelance. Both companies hired him, and they just so happened to merge. That was a coincidence.
Yeah,
it merged, but Enix ended up taking operational control. Despite the fact that when we think of Square Enix today, guys, we mostly think of Square. We don't think of Enix. But the people who are actually in charge are Enix. It's the craziest thing to me. And when I look at the history of Square Enix, I personally think that if two things hadn't have happened, then Square Enix wouldn't exist today. One being that Final Fantasy movie that completely failed, and two being the success of Chrono Trigger. Because it proved that these people who work in different companies at different times, if they work together, they can succeed, right?
And yeah, that's another thing.
I also have another theory, and this is a theory, that once all the old guard are dead, then they will make a Chrono Trigger remake as a celebration of the legacy of these two companies.
Yeah, by the way, I want to point this out whenever people are like, oh my God, tomboy, short haircut means girl, terrible girl boss. This is Valeria from Dragon Quest X. Not too many people know her because getting Dragon Quest X to work in the United States is a pain in the ass. Doesn't look very girl boss to me because the first thing you notice beyond her haircut, I think it's very obvious.
Yep, that's a nice pair.
Yeah, pretty much.
Exactly. I don't think that Square Enix is girl bossing with that design at all.
No, she looks like a cross between Bulma and the girl from Chrono Trigger.
My problem with this is that Square Enix is not given the leeway that Capcom is being given. Okay, Capcom has course corrected a lot in the past year, and everyone's glazing Capcom, right? But in the past year, Square Enix has put out Octopath Traveler 0 at the end of the year, Dragon Quest 1 and 2, which none of these had DEI anything in that year. They put out an Evercold trailer where Evercold seems to be a course correction for Final Fantasy 14 where they made massive mistakes. And they're putting out a Dragon Quest 12 that some people have decided that after a minute of footage, they know everything they need to know. Oh my God, the game is woke.
And yeah, not to mention Elliot comes out next month.
Yeah, and I saw from the people playing the demo that game looks very solid. I don't see any of this political nonsense that we've seen out of Square Enix. It seems I think they've gotten the message. And now I'm not going to say not to be cautious, but I am going to say it does look like they're on the right track. So why is it we all bow down to Capcom when they fucking do it, but when Square Enix, no, they shall never course correct.
Well, Capcom has an army of skills like the Spear Hunter and the Maximilian Dude, who and they have all big clout and defenders. So like people were glazing Capcom even when they were fucking up, even with the deluxe remaster bullshit. I fucking hate them for that. But then I still can't believe we got a game like Pragmata out of Capcom. I really can't believe modern Capcom made that fucking game.
Well,
Yeah.
they're the kind of company that will literally destroy people's lives to ensure its positive reputation. So,
Well,
The
that
only
must
game,
be.
the only game from Square that we're probably going to actually like not be unsure or really sure about right now is Final Fantasy VII Part 3 because it's probably going to
Oh,
be
God.
just
Well,
pretty.
I'm sure that one's going to be pretty consistent, and a lot of people are going to be disappointed by it.
Yeah,
But
because
and which is why
like I said, the
think,
first
like, they should just go crazy with the third one. Have this Glenn guy fuck up the entire like third act. Oh yes, Jace. Yes.
Now remember, people
Exoprimal.
want to forgive Capcom, but how easy they forget that Exoprimal was marketed in the US with a channel of drag queens, and yet in Japan with a based VTuber.
Yep. I remember
Yep.
covering this. That was one of my early videos.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
But if we could forgive Capcom, we could at least sort of be a little bit more optimistic that Square Enix has also gotten the message not to do shit like that.
yeah, don't also what Patrick says in the
Square Enix
chat.
is also
Look
like
what
very
Capcom did.
like into money. So like a course correction for them was always like likely since they're
Well, they need it
always
because right now
trying
they're going to die without it, Dash. Without it, they're
Yeah.
dead. I mean, they've lost so much money just over Dawn Trail being a fiasco that they need to pivot. They have no choice.
Yep. Patrick said, "Look what Capcom did a Dead Rising remake."
Yes, I cannot forgive them. I am so pissed off. And apparently, Capcom is still looking at doing more Dead Rising. Hopefully, not more remakes. I've always had a great idea of a Dead Rising on a college campus, but I know in today's day and age it would never work because you would have to make fun of SJWs and stuff like that. And I don't think Capcom can like make fun of like woke culture.
Dash, you don't understand. If they do that, the big boss at the end is Charlie Kirk.
Oh fuck! They could literally do like a Charlie Kirk psychopath, and that would be on brand for Dead Rising.
And then there are two boss battles. The first boss battle is him, right? And the only way you can defeat him is to shoot him in the neck. So that causes the second phase of the boss battle, where a monster comes out of that neck wound and it fights you as well.
I will tell you who benefits the most in this situation with the Square Enix sort of debate. And that is that man in the center, Xene Dravarol, who is playing Falcom games because it led to a debate about RPGs, and people unilaterally agreed that Falcom has been consistent, unlike Square Enix, unlike Capcom, unlike any of these other Japanese companies. So I think that works to Xene's advantage because he plays a lot of Falcom games on his channel.
Yeah, Falcom themselves are very consistent. I always like to get the Japanese version before the English because Nisa in IS America or even like Gunho. Gunho, a few times Gunho did put in brain rot stuff in the remake. But in IS America, the whole thing is brain rot. Oh, yeah. Since I'm replaying Trails of Cold Steel 3 on my channel, I found over 37 misspellings within the very first chapter of the game.
Oh, wow.
I get it now, folks. Xene is a Japanese American.
No,
it
I'm not.
makes sense now, right? He's a spy, folks. He's a Rising Sun spy.
No.
He reads our comments in Japanese, folks.
Yeah.
No, it's just the fact that I was in the military family in the airborne side of the Marine. So, and many military bases had classes of Japanese. And usually you get sent to at least to the Japanese base by going to the airborne side of the Marines. So
you're like an Okinawan American. You see, folks, I've come up with a new
I never
term.
left the U.S.
Oh no, we don't believe you, Dash. We're gonna create lore around Xene. How he was a special military project between the Japanese and the Americans. Oh dear.
But Patrick Roxas is saying that Trails in the Sky had trans the character in the US localization. I don't know
no.
how that.
Well, no, like I did see the screenshot of the guy saying, "What are your pronouns?"
Oof.
Yeah, I
Oof.
know it's that bad.
Yeah.
Like how, and apparently, like that's not how it was phrased in Japanese.
Oh, are
Yeah.
you talking about Daybreak 1?
Oh, okay,
That's-
yeah, I'm getting my
That's
trials.
Quatre in that character. It has a very is actually his backstory is actually very tragic. He's a product of inbreeding,
Lol.
and he got
They-
experimented on because he
Oh.
had
Yeah.
because he was inbred. He ended up having bad genes and having male and female.
That's racist.
Did they keep all that in the English version? Because like
Oh no,
like,
they
the
didn't have
progressives are
any of that in the
really,
English version.
like
That's all in
obsessed about
Japanese.
inbreeding now.
Uh,
What?
that's funny.
All that backstory of his tragic backstory is only in Japanese. The English
Wow.
version does not have any of it.
I fucking
Wow.
knew it. I fucking knew it. They can't have like Game of Thrones could not be played in the United States with like in this current climate where even like fictional incest is like somehow worse than the real thing.
Mhm. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because-
that's true.
Dash, there's a reason for that, because incest is a biological weapon to stop our opponents from becoming smart. See, if we allow other people to be incestuous, but stop our own people from being incestuous, Dash, then those other people will become stupid, brain dead retards, while people like us will be sharp. Okay, folks? So that's why we don't want in our part of the world to encourage incestuous behavior, but we don't mind when other people do it. Because if they keep doing it, Dash, generation after generation, they're going to be functionally brain dead.
I wasn't
You guys have
justifying
seen.
incest. I'm just saying, like, as a fictional topic or as a form of storytelling, like to say like you can't have that. It's a restriction on fiction. Basically,
Well, you can all quote me on this, folks. Right? If you're gay, then incest isn't an issue. Okay, it's only an issue between heterosexuals. All right.
Oh wow.
Because of the breeding aspect, right? So if you want to promote gay incest, that's perfectly fine.
I don't know. I
okay?
think gay incest is pretty problematic. I
Well-
think that is just as problematic as a heterosexual incest.
Well, at
Because
least you're not
like
making.
you're taking like that brother sibling or like in this case brother or sister relationship, and it just I mean like people write fan fiction about that shit to get their rocks off, but like real life that I don't know. There's something wrong with that.
It's from a biological aspect, though. As long as no brain dead people are being created as a result, right? That's the problematic aspect of incest that people need to understand. It's why the concept of cousin marriage is something that should be frowned upon because of the biological implications, right?
But why censor like this fictional character's story who was a medical experiment and was a product of inbreeding?
Because that offends the transgender community because that's a biopic for them.
Lol.
So there you go, folks.
Oh, there's
Right.
there's even more. Trails gets really dark when it comes to the human trafficking. They really say a lot of truths, and a lot of that gets erased when NIS America got a hold of it. But if you played Trails in the Sky the Third, there's one door. Basically, they kind of have all side story, not really side stories, but stories about the characters. One door, like when I say Gunho is going to completely censor it, there'll be nothing left of that story because it was dark. It was the first Trails game that was actually rated mature.
Well, the reason
how
things
dark
are censored is mainly because it hits too close to home.
Yes.
And look, trafficking people is as normal as trafficking products in the United States. So,
The
of course they're
Democrats
gonna
like to
censor it.
do that up very often.
You can't look in any nation or in any people. You can't really make something that's too on the nose. It would be like complaining about making a game about bread lines in the old Soviet Union. Of course, they were never going to publish it there because it's too on the nose. Making a people trafficking game set in the United States, of course, it's going to get banned in the US. Making an elephant simulator is going to get banned from India.
It's Digny, that what you just said didn't get banned in the US. It was actually made by with Microsoft funding it.
I am sure, Xene, and as we've seen this time and time again, especially with books, that certain US states will not take a fancy to those storylines. Right? Talk about the land of the free and the home of the brave. There was a time when certain problematic books were banned in the US, yet everyone seems to love 50 Shades of Grey. Well, I'll tell you guys one thing about 50 Shades of Grey, right? At least it ends, unlike George Martin's crap. All I have to say is best, and it's great to see Neku. All I have to say is best of luck to Dragon Quest. Hopefully, Yuji Horii stays alive for as long as possible. I have high hopes for where this franchise is going to go. I don't know about Japan, but I know in the West, 13 is not a lucky number.
Oh yeah, 13 is not a lucky number. Jason, no, because I made quite a choice words when
about
it comes
13.
to certain Final Fantasy.
Well, I'll say this. I speculate that this may possibly be the last mainline Dragon Quest because of the fact that Yuji is getting on in years. He's the last one out of the Magic Trinity. Akira Toriyama's gone. Koichi Sugiyama is gone. I think this might be his sort of farewell game. He may decide to call it after this. But I also think because of that, it will not disappoint us because I think when you got a lot riding on what might be the final game you develop, you're not going to want it to be crap. And I also think part of the redevelop.
Yeah. Oh, I was like saying, I get a sense, even though it was just four characters, like I get this like sense that like they're really like trying to like they're going back to basics, but they're also like kind of like doing like something a little different, like and unique, yet it feels like a Dragon Quest story.
Yeah, I think the skirting two worlds thing, we've seen that in Dragon Quest. The thing with Dragon Quest is the difference between Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy. People don't understand this. Final Fantasy is always going to try something new, and sometimes it hits, and sometimes it's a wild miss. Dragon Quest is where you go for consistency. There's a consistent aesthetic, a consistent style across all the games in the series, and I think that Yuji Horii is protective of that status quo, and it's that sort of saying that I have on one of my shirts: if it ain't woke, don't fix it. And I also think one of the other changes that we might see with this is they might have sort of tried to pressure him at Square Enix to be more action oriented with the game, and he might have wanted to go more the turn-based route. We saw what happened with Expedition 33 at the Game Awards, and I think it's very possible that he said, no, this is going to be a little bit more turn-based. I think that's also, as far as game mechanics go, another reason this might have been delayed is to make it more of a turn-based style game instead of an ARPG.
Do you want to add anything before we close out this topic?
Well, one thing first, real quick. About that, the turn-based thing. They could also have still added in, like they did for Dragon Quest VII Reimagined, basically, or where you were playing it the other day, Jace, where you're like able to use your weapon and stuff to like hit enemies to kill them. So they might add that in. It has a bit of an action base to it, so you can like get a. It was still basically just technically be like for like getting a surprise attack on enemies too.
Oh yeah, that's fine. A lot of turn-based RPGs have done that.
Yeah, but a lot of the Dragon Quest games don't do that, especially since a lot of them are mostly random battles. But the newer ones were like you could run into them from behind or something, get a surprise attack, but you couldn't really attack them, So
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
that's a new thing to do for 7.
okay, I just want to make
there we
sure, Neku, do you have anything to add? I know like you're just coming in halfway like through the topic, but we're talking about like Dragon Quest 12 restarting and how we think the new direction is probably for the best.
So I'm personally not a big Dragon Quest person, but I do
Neither am I.
I was gonna say I remember one person complaining about the art style looking more cartoony, and the response from a lot of people was like, "That's kind of the point."
Yeah, it's so funny. I saw a comment about like from complaining about Minute of the Howler saying this looks like a Game Boy game. I'm like, yes.
My favorite dash was the guy who was mad that the character isn't an adult, and I'm like, yeah, that's the case in all the other Dragon Quest games.
Both every like Japan likes youth. They're very big on youth. Like,
I was gonna say like, have you
think-
watched anime?
I think the only like a couple of Dragon Quest games had like a older type of protagonist, but not really like too old. But
no, like
they're at least-
20s, teens, like
Yeah,
that seems to be about the
Going
like,
on the
range.
Quest or something like that.
You can
what was
tell.
Dragon
can-
Quest 5 or 4, where the main character, you're adult and you have kids.
Yeah,
Well,
you get
that
married.
happens later. You start
Well,
as a
no,
child.
Yeah,
you start
you
as a
start
kid and you
child.
get
Yeah, I actually played. I got pretty far in Dragon Quest V. I played it on my phone.
yeah,
you can
5 is the one
tell-
that did that.
You can tell Neku has been away for a while because his microphone's too low.
Are you sure it's set to the normal volume?
Yeah. Turn it up, man.
You had it set a little low.
Mm.
My word,
tu-
like
Turn it up, like you're in
Turn
the
it
club. Up.
You either got to turn
up.
turn it up or get closer to the
Let me
microphone.
see if I can boost his volume. Right, edit
because
mic
it's
setting.
literally it was set at the same volume as last
That's better.
time.
That's better now.
Oh, so maybe Dash needed to turn me up.
Yeah. No, I couldn't change the settings. It just
Why don't you go
maybe.
closer to your big
That's
big
what it said.
microphone?
My big
Clever
black
boy.
microphone.
Oh wait, no. See, look. Now I can. Here, I boost your volume up a little.
All right.
Okay.
Look. Speaking of old friends returning, folks, let's talk about how a crazy lady movie beating Star Wars. Huh? How about we talk
Yeah.
about that?
All right. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. So, horror movies seem to be like the big thing that like dominates the box office now these days. Like if it's a horror movie, like normally horror movies were like guaranteed like flops, and in the modern age, it's like what people go to see now over like the superhero blockbusters. So yeah, this movie obsessed beat Baby Yoda at the box office.
Obsession.
Look,
yeah.
I don't understand why Obsession is a horror movie. I think Obsession is great because, well, who wouldn't want a woman stalking them? Look, women find it uncomfortable when a man stalks them and becomes obsessed, but it's simply not true the other way around, right?
Well, female stalkers don't look like that in the real world. They usually look like a bag of vomit with a body attached.
Well, there was a movie that was pretty bad with Beyonce and Idris Elba called Obsession. That was kind of like framed where, like, this white woman, like, at work stalked Idris Elba, and then her and Beyonce have, like, a fucking cat fight at the end.
Okay, well, shout out to them.
Yeah, no one remembers that movie. Like, no, it apparently wasn't very good. I kind of looked up the Rotten Tomatoes score on it. Like, apparently people hated it. I did
Pretty
see the
girl.
movie.
Pretty
But yeah,
horror
this looks a
girl.
lot better. I don't know much about this movie, but like this is just freaky right here. Like this sounds like, this
don't-
bitch has issues.
Yeah, I don't even
Lovely.
know. I don't even know what it's about. So I just know
It's lovely, guys. It's absolutely lovely. All right, we
He can
need.
fix her.
Yes, yes, I can.
Jace can fix her.
You know the strange
Well, he
thing
already
about
has. He already
the
has a
strange-
girlfriend, so he doesn't care.
I know, but if he
The-
didn't have a girlfriend, Jace could fix her.
Look, the strange thing about
Well, I'm going to fix her
Obsession-
right now.
Damn.
Oh,
Oh,
The strange thing about Obsession, folks, is that Obsession, the movie, was originally released at the Toronto International Film Festival on September the 5th last year. It has only made its theatrical debut 2 weeks ago, which begs the question, why was this kept on a shelf for, 6 to 9 months? Why the gap between the two?
Yeah,
I'm actually going to check right now.
People like the smaller budget stuff. People like the more creative like films, like even like Iron Lung, like that came out of like Markiplier's pocket, and like he made it mostly as a passion project.
But why wait 9 months from the original premiere to a theatrical release? It's nearly a year.
Well, it is really hard for indie filmmakers to get. Oh dear God!
I told you I'd fix her.
There we go.
God.
There we go.
Are you sure Digny didn't fix her?
Look.
Well, that's what he wanted.
As a great man once said, get your legs up. Okay? Right? Most people on this panel wouldn't get that reference, but I do. Get your legs up.
I guess.
Oh, go on.
I was going to say, I guess Down with the Clown has a new meaning for him.
Mm-hmm. But the crazy thing about Obsession, folks, and I just brought up Wikipedia to get a nice lowdown. The film follows Bear, which is the name of the guy, right?
The guy's name is Bear.
Yes, apparently a guy named Bear is a shy and awkward music store employee who buys a supernatural toy that grants him his wish for his friend Nikki, who is that lady, to fall in love with him. And it results, apparently, in horrifying consequences.
So basically, this is just a story copy and pasted from an episode of Tales from the Crypt in the 90s.
Could be. Could well be. Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, it's an old saying, but like true. Yeah, so it's a wish gone bad movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Bear is frustrated, right? So he asks for this wish, and then as soon as he does, wishing for Nikki, the girl, to fall in love with him more than anyone in the world, Nikki suddenly reappears in his bedroom and asks to sleep in Bear's house, revealing that her father is dying of cancer. While in bed, she kisses him, but abruptly stops and pushes him away, looking scared and confused. So, in a sense, the reason for the obsession turning horrific is that the wish is taking over her body and her mind, and it's going to consume the wish maker. So be careful what you wish for, folks, because you're going to get
Monkey paw.
Whereas Baby Yoda is going to get punted to the moon.
Yeah.
Which he deserves.
This should have been a Disney Plus special. It should not have done a theatrical release. That was dumb.
You know what the problem with Star Wars is that kids don't give a shit about it.
Oh yeah, well that is all on Disney. They spent all this energy marketing to like childless millennials that they do not.
Exactly.
They didn't even think about the cool factor. Like get young boys into it. No, we can't cater to men. Kathleen Kennedy even said we don't have to cater to men. No,
Galaxy knows this. When we were kids, the original trilogy appealed to us. There were toys, there was marketing. As kids, like that was a big thing.
Yeah,
and then when you were a kid, Dash, the prequel trilogy was marketed to your generation very hard. Action figures, toys, everything, the marketing, the movies. What do we get with the sequel trilogy and beyond?
Boring ass gray alien shit.
We got some guy crying watching the trailer on YouTube that went viral. Some grown-ass man with the last name Butts. Yeah, that's gonna make some kids. That's gonna make some kids watch your freaking series. Good
there
Lord.
weren't really any video games about the sequel movies. Now that I think about it, just
Lego
Star Wars.
There was one animated show, and that's it. And no one even watched it. It was one of the worst-looking animated shows of the Star Wars.
Meanwhile, during the prequels, there were countless games. There was pod racing. There was that like Naboo Starfighter game, Battlefront, Battlegrounds, you name it.
Yeah, the Battlefront
they
2
even-
by
they
EA.
even had-
Bounty Hunter game too.
They
Like,
had
think of
Old
it.
Republic. They even had stuff in the original trilogy and post-original trilogy eras.
And there was an there's also like an Obi-Wan game and a Episode 3 game, which while the
Yeah.
gameplay was meh, like there was some freaky stuff.
I don't know. I like the fighting combat.
no.
It was good.
Yeah, the Revenge of the Sith game was really good on console.
what if Anakin won the duel? Like that's
nuts.
nuts.
Everyone talks about that alternate ending.
Yeah.
It was a sick alternate ending.
Well, I'd like to first of all, I'd like to thank the kind stranger for subscribing to my Rumble channel. I'm very appreciative of you, which has taken me over the $50 threshold to cash out. But I'm gonna leave it there, folks, because we didn't do a show on Wednesday. I was very tired and had to do a lot of things behind the scenes.
I think the most Disney has tried to like really get kids is that show Skeleton Crew, which Neku, I know you watched for the Wolf Guy that you said the show was pretty good.
It was actually okay, and this is someone who was like pessimistic about it, like, oh, it's gonna be annoying and insufferable, but it wasn't afraid to get dark now and then. It kind of felt like watching Goonies or what it compared to there was like in the 80s there was like what was it called, those Ewok movies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was like those but more action.
Do you remember the awful Star Wars Christmas special where they gave Chewbacca children?
Yes.
Well, yes.
Goodness me, folks. Goodness me. You know it's bad when a near 50-year-old franchise can't beat a horror flick where a guy just wants to fuck a girl.
But going back onto the topic of like Mandalorian and Grogu itself, I think the biggest problem is this came out way too late. The hype is already gone.
Yep, absolutely. Like post Gina Carano controversy, post season 3, post Book of Boba Fett, which was like one of the worst Star Wars projects.
Yeah, because if this came out right after season 3 of Mandalorian, I think it would have at least broke even.
Yeah, like if it had come out, you mean 2? I mean, if it came out after season 2.
No, even after season 3, I think
season 3 was
it would have had a little
worst.
more momentum.
I believe Ryan Roger Athe and I saw this yesterday on Cancel This Podcast with John.
Oh my goodness.
I believe your mentor and I saw this in Africa.
Oh no. No, have you guys ever played XCOM 2?
Yeah, I have. That game is fucking brutal.
Have you seen the Advent soldiers when they unmask them and they have this weird looking head?
I have played XCOM, yes.
Right?
I'm not sure if I got that far to see what the Advent soldiers look like, but I know that the tall, thin men from the first game were actually these really hot Naga babes.
Oh, you dirty bastard. Only you would fantasize about a snake's tail.
Oh,
going
you
up your
think it's only
asshole.
me? You think you have not seen the art thing?
The
Neku
Advent
probably has.
soldier, this poor African kid, right, has like this facial deformity around his nose and forehead, and he looks just like a fucking Advent soldier unmasked. Right? I could not believe it. I think that's where they got the idea. Right? This poor kiddo with a facial deformity looks like an Advent soldier, and it's quite frankly very, very sad.
You think it's just me?
You're a dirty bastard, right?
I know.
I am so glad they haven't made XCOM 3 because they would fuck it up. They would.
They technically kind of did, but it was more of a spin-off.
Chimera Squad doesn't count. They try to make this knockoff Humanity Front faction the main bad guy, but they're backed by the secret water aliens. I'm like, fuck off, you bastards. I really
where the humans are the bad guys. That sounds fucking dumb.
Because there are 3 factions in Chimera Squad that the Chimera Squad have to deal with, and they're all being agitated by this like secretive Humanity Front that want to kill all the aliens. But that secret humanity front is being backed not by the elders, but by the water aliens who are hinted at the end of XCOM 2. Because something was bubbling below the surface.
Man, that has such a real life reference of certain white supremacist groups got backed by Democrats.
Yeah, like, true. So the bad guys were literally the SPLC.
No.
Yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, fuck Chimera Squad. It's like you chickened out instead of making an actual XCOM 3 where we take on the water aliens who the elders were trying to stop and failed. I'm thinking to myself, go to hell. Just go to hell. It's been how long? It's been nearly a decade.
Yes.
And you still haven't made it.
Look at the chud in the background.
Goodness me.
The heck?
I don't want to know where that tail's going.
Find out what Advent is missing. Join XCOM today. Yes, we have snake girls.
Fucking Advent cunts.
Weird.
If I disappear, it's not because of non-payment of my electric bill. It's because it is suddenly storming outside and there's a thunderstorm. So it may knock me offline.
Yep. God is sending a message to Atlanta, Georgia.
He's
Stop.
mad that I'm arguing with Corpo Slop enjoyers on the X. Yep. I kind of shit on Marathon, and now they're not really shit on Marathon. I just defended Jay Viper's position that we should be able to leave review feedback when we play demos of games. And you can't fix a problem if the company doesn't know what the problem is. So when you play a demo, you have the burden of letting them know, I liked this, I didn't like this, please change this. And there's a lot of people who are very mad about me saying
the toxic positivity crowd. Everything's good. Everything's 10 out of 10. Everything is amazing. Like those
people don't live in the real
world.
Criticism is harassment.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Too.
Yeah, but if you really like something, you have to criticize it when it does something bad.
Yeah, and that's going back to something that Dash knows very well, and Galaxy also knows very well, because all three of us have played Final Fantasy 14. There's a big toxic positivity problem that was plaguing that game, and all of us were louder than them, but we were louder than them. That's why Evercold is happening.
Yep.
Yeah, there's also, this is actually an example that's before the Final Fantasy 14. It was a game called PlanetSide 2. Me and one YouTuber, we were the practically the loudest. We were doing test server videos, like all upcoming updates, and it's like this is after they got sold to Daybreak, from Sony Entertainment to Daybreak, and it's like, there was a toxic positivity way before the Final Fantasy 14.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like criticism is not an attack. We criticize things because we want them to succeed, not because we want them to fail.
This is what happens when you grow up around a generation of people who were never told no before in their lives. They don't understand it when you say, hey, this kind of sucks and needs to change. Oh, why are you attacking me? You've never felt an attack before. Like you think that's an attack? I hate to see how you react to getting a bill.
Yeah, there was it PlanetSide 2? We were doing the test server before the update even came out, like weeks before the update comes out. We said, oh, there's a problem with a certain class in the game. It was not optimal, but not playable. What they did? Release the update without changing it. I'm like, hey, we just they hated anyone that even points out any problems. Hey, this needs to be fixed.
Mandalorian and Grogu should be a horror movie because one of the action scenes is a turd fighting bugs. What is this? A toilet ad? A toilet?
This is what
you're talking about the Baby Jabba the Hutt that they made ultra buff and stuff. Like that's I guess that was the jangling keys of this movie, were the Clone Wars characters and the aliens. Like, other than that, from what I hear, it's just an overlong episode.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Feedback could have prevented that. Them listening to the fan feedback could have prevented that. when you don't have fan feedback, you get ugly Sonic.
Yes.
I'm just saying, sometimes you do have to bully corpos. Bullying corpos works.
Yeah, and not like bullying that guy that just exited that AI deal with Amazon because his animation fans like bullied him to not take like a lucrative deal.
Yeah.
You know, like I mean, like, you know, with the Sonic thing, that is a sign of good bullying because we actually have a movie franchise now because of that change. That one change made a franchise.
Yes.
And unlike the woke people, we actually give them our money.
Yeah,
Exactly.
We will give you money if it's good, if it respects us, if we are respected. We pay we vote with our wallets.
And every company, whether it's Disney, whether it's the video game industry, they all need to understand that at the end of the day. And that includes The Mandalorian, Grogu, and Star Wars as a whole.
Yeah.
That you need to cater to the fan.
Yeah, like, and you definitely, like, you know, I'm just saying, like, you know, with just how, like, political and woke, like, Pedro Pascal is, like, you know, having him be the star of the movie now. Like, the thing is, like, you know, Pedro didn't have this problem when Mandalorian first came out. He does now. And then there was the whole Pedro Pascal fatigue thing where everyone got sick of seeing him in movies.
You know what my favorite Pedro Pascal role was?
What?
In Game of Thrones.
I know why.
No. It was because he actually did a good job. But then, as he became more insufferable, my favorite role became Oberyn Martell because he got his head crushed. All right, so same role for two different reasons.
Well, at least you on Ferrari.
What's this?
What?
Ferrari
No.
released an electric car.
Oh no!
Oh no!
No!
It looks like
That's not a Ferrari.
That is a Ferrari.
That's a
Oh,
Prius.
no,
What the
no.
fuck is that?
no.
I'm not
Ford
even a
did this
car person.
too
I know
with their
that it's not a fucking Ferrari.
like Ford did this too with their Mustang, and now looks like a crossover, and I hate it.
You see, Ferrari have a very distinguished look, folks, despite the fact that Fiat owns Ferrari. I'm like, what?
It's
Really?
not the other way around.
No, it's not the other way around. You know why, guys? Because Fiat is a very rare Italian car company. They can actually make a profit doing what they do. That's why they've bought almost all of the other Italian car companies, because Italians know how to make great cars, but they're all unreliable, right?
I
With
can't figure out
Ferrari-
which one?
With Ferrari, they have a distinctive look. They have a distinctive style. They're very good at making high-performance vehicles. You guys got to understand, right, that Ferrari dismissed Lamborghini, which was a tractor-making company, so Lamborghini made their own supercars. But Lamborghini emulated Ferrari by dismissing Pagani, which led to Pagani making their own supercars. So you've got three distinct brands of Italian supercar. Each one exists because their predecessors shat on them. In Ferrari's case, it was Alfa Romeo. And in Alfa Romeo's case, it was Fiat. So it's very weird how everything circles back around. And now who owns most of them? Fiat. I think Audi owns Lamborghini, though.
You know where my childhood trauma began? Is that we got to 2005 and cars didn't start looking like the 2005 Transformers, like Hot Rod in the old 86 Transformers movie. Because I thought that car design was pretty awesome back then growing up. Instead, we got some ugly vehicles that look like boxes now. I mean, look, even the Cybertruck. I know some people like the Cybertruck. I think it looks like something you blow up in the Super NES Star Fox game.
My dad hates the Cybertrucks too. Like he does not get the design at all. I mean, really, it's only like the Elon's like autism could have concocted something like that.
It looks like an OCP vehicle in RoboCop.
I'm just saying.
I feel like it comes from a Nintendo 64 game.
Well,
No,
I see it.
I say it comes more from iRobot. where
Yeah,
literally
but-
almost all the vehicles that Elon has even posted has almost 1-to-1 to all the vehicles.
You're
in
right. In
iRobot.
that movie, like everything's like gray and chrome.
Now, even his robots look like the iRobot robots.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say as well.
The problem that Ferrari has with their Luce or Luce design. First of all, we don't even know how to say its fucking name. Second of all, it's priced at $640,000 for an
I'm
electric
reminded of-
from an electric vehicle that looks like a BMW i8.
I'm reminded of Jaguar and their epic fail a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't learn their lesson apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. They doubled down.
Right? Apparently, this electric car, folks, has a range of 280 miles, and because it's Ferrari, it has over 1,000 horsepower. 0 to 60 in 2.4 seconds. It weighs, I don't know what American weight is, but it weighs just under 5,000 pounds, whatever that is. I'm not an
How
American.
many
I don't-
metric tons? I'd have to do the math.
I don't know, maybe a few tons. Apparently, it's about as long as a Tesla Model S, and U.S. deliveries are starting in the second quarter of 2027. Lamborghini's response was very interesting in that they were just saying, proud to keep you dreaming, and they posted the latest Lamborghini, which looks like a fucking Lamborghini, because we all know what a Lamborghini looks like. They took the Ferrari concept and they made it crazier. Pagani took Lamborghini's mindset and made that even crazier.
There's a weird problem with modernity where, basically designs of things go bad. We see this with architecture. We see this with automobiles. We see this with logos where everything's an oversimplified logo. There's just no imagination behind any of this. It's all drab and miserable.
And it's even more sad because Rimac is a fairly new Croatian company, and their electric sports car looks like an actual sports car.
No, it's a
It's not this
supercar.
blob.
Yeah,
should
like,
be- If you want to make a supercar, folks, right? You make a supercar. There was a time, guys, when the fastest production car in the world was made by McLaren. Remember the McLaren F1? 240 miles an hour in the early 90s was considered nuts. And it wasn't surpassed until the Bugatti Veyron in the mid 2000s, right? Quantum leaps. But what Ferrari is trying to do, they're emulating Jaguar, and they're going to pay the price for it, right? You've got to make vehicles that are fuel efficient, especially with the way fuel prices are going, but they got to be fast and they got to look good, right?
Yeah, design is like the bigger, like, not like you make an electric car all you want, but make it look like a fucking Ferrari.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Rimac have done incredibly well. However, their cars are dangerous to drive. They are. Why? Because Croatian safety standards are not that high when it comes to car production.
Is this
Right?
because of Richard Hammond or something else?
That too. It wasn't a good look. That car can go so fast that it is dangerous if it's not on a flat surface. Because
he missed that turn and whew.
yeah. And the car didn't stop burning for hours, folks. For
Yeah,
hours.
because 10 years ago, they didn't know, like, no one knew how to put out a lithium battery fire.
Yeah.
So,
For a time, it was considered impossible to put out that fire, right? And Rimacs are beautiful cars, but they are of the highest production quality. High production quality, low safety standards. Of course it's going to fucking blow up. It's Croatian. But I will also point out, right, stop bogging your vehicles. Stop ruining your legacy. Don't be to the car industry like Starlight is in The Boys. You start off with this beautiful thing, this beautiful person, and you get Bogdanoved. Okay? Don't alter yourself. Stay true to who you are. All right? And tell people who come along to go fuck themselves, because then they'll be true to who they are. If Alfa Romeo didn't tell Ferrari to go fuck themselves, we wouldn't have Ferrari. If Ferrari didn't tell Lamborghini to go fuck themselves, we wouldn't have Lamborghini. And if Lamborghini didn't tell Pagani to go fuck themselves, we wouldn't have Pagani. Most of the Italian car industry is just the top dog telling the newcomers to fuck off and die. That's why there are so many unique brands.
It's
So you're
all
saying
built
it's
on
not
spite.
unlike content creation.
Yes. Yes.
That's a good analogy.
The Italian car industry is American content creation. Stylish, unreliable, very, very exotic and performative, and ultimately a great experience for everyone. Guys, you should all check out Ferrari, Lamborghini, especially check out Pagani, because they're fucking nuts when it comes to
I
making
know
vehicles.
almost so little about cars, man.
So is the equivalent of the quartering the Lamborghini because there's a bull on it?
Oh,
You said I was about to say.
Okay.
The quartering,
My tongue.
the quartering is the Ferrari Lucha of content creators. Ferrari would have done less damage if they cut off the head of their horse. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, it's future plans time. I just wanted to add the Ferrari topic because not many people in our sphere talk about cars, and I'm thinking, well, we probably should. We probably should.
It was interesting.
I'm down
interesting. I
for
wish
it.
I could have contributed more, but
Yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
huge Top Gear fan. And by
Yeah.
Top Gear, I mean the original trio.
Yeah. I'll tell you this, guys, right? I was it's a very, very interesting story. Talk about future plans, but I'm talking about the past. I won a race before I ever learned to drive. Right? I was one of those drivers. I learned how to race before I learned how to drive. Which is very useful in my country, because in Israel, right, if you want a fast track to getting a driving license, you get a racing license. Because you get qualified for everything then. Also, we also drive tanks over people, so that's fun too. So on that note, folks, let's talk about the future rather than the past. Let's start off with Neku. What are your future plans, Neku?
Well, next week my sister's visiting out of state, so I'll definitely not be available Friday. I'm sorry.
no, it's all
Okay.
good, man. We appreciate when you can make it. And good. I hope you have a nice time seeing your sister.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a little over a year, so it's well overdue.
All righty then. Well, best of luck meeting up with your sister. Why don't you show her what it's like clubbing? Does she know about that? Clubbing?
Oh yeah, I've shared videos.
Good. Good. We'll share some more because, it's not easy to do that. Galaxy, what are your future plans?
My future plans will be playing Breath of Fire 2 tomorrow, and I'm gonna probably do about 4 hours of stream because I missed doing too much of it last week. So, and then I got my schedule out for next week, which will be, having to do my premium variety stream, basically, as the premium only stream for Rumble next
Are you
week.
a car guy, Galaxy?
Not really.
Well, we got to get you and Dash, and we got to get everyone interested in cars, folks, because we got to rage against the electric machine, okay? We need 4-liter V8s. They have to be fuel efficient because of the economy we live in. But apart from that, everything else, gun-ho. Anything else, Galaxy?
No, that's it.
Good. Now, we know Jace is a car nut because he's constantly fixing his. So, Jace, what are your future plans? Fixing your Ford Ranger?
Luckily, it runs right now, but knock on wood, that's neither here nor there. I mean, it's a Ford; it's fix or repair daily. But yeah, I'll be doing some gaming a little later tonight. Potentially Suikoden 5, unless I decide to play something else. I've got a big backlog of games because I do not buy new games. I engage in other ways of acquiring games that don't involve spending money when I do, but it's very few and far between that I care about a new game. Suikoden 5 is about a 20-year-old game. It's older than some of the viewers over here, but I might be playing that tonight. Got to figure out dinner. It's fucking storming, so I don't know what the hell's going to happen with the weather. Got a lot of stuff to do. I also got to cut some shorts and short form clips from Kansas Podcast and Happy Hour earlier this week. We post those on our Instagram page because we're banned from every other short form place.
No.
And we also post those to Rumble as well. So, that's something that'll keep me busy, I'm sure.
I tell you, folks, Instagram is really the place to be because you can be racist and see hot bitches. Okay, folks?
By the way, we're almost at 2,800 followers. If you haven't followed over on Rumble, feel free to do so. We're just around the corner from 2,800.
Instagram can be like the platform that brings everyone together, especially with OnlyFans crashing and burning with their data leak, right, guys? Imagine a platform where on one post you can see pretty ladies, and on another post you can just see, offhand offensive memes. That'd be great, wouldn't it? That'd be fantastic. Xene, are you a car guy, Xene?
Yeah. Yeah. I had a pretty old. It was my father's. It was a 1970 truck.
Ooh.
I think it's one of the. It still was full steel. So if it got in a wreck, all the other cars would be flattened. Where this one's won't even have a scratch on it because the whole body is steel.
Oh yeah, that was back in the days when gas was leaded.
Oh.
Yeah, I had to change the gas thing to actually handle the current gas.
See, one of those old school ones, folks. We're very appreciative of people telling the stories of the past, especially back then when cars were like 20 feet long and they had like 5 miles to the gallon.
Yeah, basically, if you're talking about U.S. standards of 1 ton, it's 2,000 pounds. If it's a UK standard, that's 2,245 pounds.
Yeah, we should
For
really
UK.
do it. We should really find a day and do a car show. I think Furious Dan would love that. We'd call it reality-based cars.
I'd do
and then
it.
we can talk about the best and worst car companies in America, because we'll start off with what you guys know. Dash, what are your future plans? You a car guy, or do you drive a Prius?
Yeah, like I told you, because of my disabilities, I don't really drive. I don't own a car. Not really big sports guys. So I really if I see a nice looking car, I'll like it, but my expertise is not good when it comes to cars. I'm sorry. But yeah,
That's
my
all right,
future
man.
plans. My
That's
future
all
plans, I'm going to play Yacht Club's new game, which I predict is going to be the most talked about indie game in the next couple of weeks, which is Minna the Howler. It was supposed to come out last Halloween, but they delayed it. Could be playing it. It's he plays this mouse girl with a Castlevania whip, and it's styled like the old Zelda games on the Game Boy. It's the Shovel Knight devs, so I'm expecting. My expectations are high, so I'm hoping it lives up to them. It's only $20. I'm telling you, this might be the next Silk Song.
Yeah.
Well, best of luck to that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My future
and-
plans. I
yeah,
talked about cars.
Oh yeah,
Oh, right. I'm sorry, Zine. I thought your future plan was buying a car.
yeah. So other than that,
Albert.
we'll probably be on with Levistro tomorrow. I know he's got a game dev on as a guest, so be sure to catch that. Subscribe to Levistro.
You should probably let Zine tell folks his future plans.
Yeah.
Dash.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot about it. My future plans for at least today is some more Mech Warrior. 5 at 6:30 for some heavy metal classing.
My goodness, I played that game, but you wouldn't want to be playing cooperative with me, Xene. I would be shouting expletives at all of your friends. Just like, get fucking here! Attack where I am! Do it now! Or I'll call you a clanker. But good luck with that, Xene. I played Mech Warrior 5 Mercenaries, and I've enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy clans as much, but...
clans. There was like where the so-called the main character was talking to one of the others like he was a baby.
Oh,
I'm
God.
like, I was like, that was my last time playing it. I'm like, F that.
You know, Dash, I feel you, man. They don't let me drive either, because imagine if I had a vehicle. They'll let me drive a race car or they'll let me drive a tank to run people over, but they won't let me drive a normal car for some reason. I don't know why. But why don't you wrap up today's show, Dash, and we can bid everyone a good night.
Yeah.
Did we pass 20 likes? Did we pass 20 likes?
I know we got a ton of likes. It still says
No, it's
19
close.
up. I am going to read. Hey, someone hit that like button. Wait, you know what? I'll be the tiebreaker. Let me like the video.
Yeah, well, that's what you should always do. Always like your
I know
own
you.
fucking
I
stream.
know. I still have like my principles.
19's a good number, right? Who wouldn't want a 19-year-old?
Oh, hey, no, looks like we hit 20 already. We hit 20,
Yeah.
and now let's make it 21. Nice.
There we go.
All right,
now
we're
she
going to
can.
close out the stream here.
Now she
bye,
can drink.
everyone.
Bye.
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 Bye, guys.
Forever.